This conference will now be recorded.
Pretty sure we did.
All right,
I'll look at it.
everybody is around here, so we're going to call the meeting to order. Since we can't do the pledge, I asked Ron to do a prayer for us for those affected by COVID-19. So,
Heavenly Father, I ask that you would put your hand upon those who have been affected by COVID-19, that you would just bring them to health and just take away a lot of the stress and uncertainty. We ask this in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen.
all right. So our first order of business, as usual, is public comment. Does anybody have any public comment? Okay. So let's see. Let's do Steve. You want to do your thing? I think you were first in.
Sure. Hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Good. I don't know if you see me because I can't see myself. So, yeah, I would like to propose a request that the Board of Trustees and the Mayor approve a refurbishing of 3 historic markers that are in the village. And I'm sure that you have, you know where these 3 are. They are, first of all, they're the historic, Owego Historic District markers that were put in 1998. 3 of them, and they roughly delineate the area of the historic district. So one of them is at Front and Armstrong. One is at Front and John. And the third one is at Main and John, roughly in those areas. So they are dated. They need to be refinished, and the OHPC has approached me to request from the village for them to, without any charge, refurbish these signs and repaint them the exact color schemes that they are. The signs are white and brown, and the poles are silver. There is kind of 2 requests with this. So this is kind of what that they need us to do. Is they would like the signs removed from their posts. The 3 signs, they are quite heavy, and one delivered to 260 Main Street. That's Jim Overheiser's house. He's one of the OHPC commissioners. And also one of the signs, it's the sign on Front and John, is leaning. It doesn't look like it's too big of a deal to straighten, but of the 3 posts, that's the only one on Front and John that needs to be straightened. I don't know. I'm not Jeff, so I don't know what that would require. Some concrete. So I don't know. But and then the signs being delivered, of course. It is our purview. These signs. I don't believe that it require any other approval from anybody else except us here at the village. The turnaround on the signs, Jim Overheim says that he can do this in a matter of days. So just to give you a heads up on that, he definitely has a skill set that would qualify him to do a fine job on these. He also will have the exact paint schemes that has been worked out. So I'm just trying to think of any questions you might for me on that. So it's going to be an OHPC effort for the most part, but of course need your all.
Is there any cost, Steve?
I believe Jim said that they are going to personally cover the cost of the paint.
Okay. And is he donating the labor or?
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to have a work crew. He's meet at his home and finish these things off and wrap court order.
Can I chime in here a little bit? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, I did run this by a couple of people to find out, you know, who really owns the signs. And Jeff, you probably already know it, but I just wanted to confirm it. I ran this by James Finelli at the State Historic Preservation Office, and Emma Sedor, you know, the county historian, and Peter Gordon, the town of Owego historian, and David Allen, who was the chair of OHPC when the signs went up. These signs went up at the boundary increase in 1998. And so what I found out was the signs do belong to the village.
Okay.
And so it's okay for us to make a decision. We're not changing the location, we're not changing the words, we're not doing anything but just making it look better. So I haven't talked directly to Jeff. Jeff, you know, weigh in, you know, is this a problem for you guys? Because we need you to take a, okay, great. So I can't say that this would be controversial in any way, but you never know. So they'll disappear and then they'll reappear again with the help of the DPW.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, and we don't have to look through it, even though it's on Front Street is a New York State, you know, highway, because they've already in 1998 approved to have these signs there. You know, we're not changing anything, we're just fixing them. So I don't think we have anything with New York State Office of Transportation, whatever they are.
Okay. I don't know if we really even need a motion on this, but.
I don't know, it's just repair of what we've got. I don't think we need to
Right.
do anything.
I mean, it sounds like a good plan to me, so we'll have DPW work with Steve and Nadine and Jim to get that.
Okay.
Jeff, you can let me know. I'm glad to, you know, be the go-between if you like.
All right, that's fine.
All right, and you have my information, right? My
Right.
contact.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
All
Much.
right.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
Thank you
And
very
Jeff.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to stick around for a few minutes. If that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. More than welcome.
Been a long time.
Let's see. Next, I guess we could do OHPC since Nadine's here. I think she was second, maybe in.
Okay, I did, I hope you all received a forwarded of an email that I sent out, I think on Friday, and it had some links to some documents on our village website, and it had a few attachments. So I'm going to try to be as quick as I can because I know you have a full schedule. So what I'd like to do is just to run through what I have to say, and then if anybody has any questions or anything, I'll do it at the end, if that's okay with everybody. I'm not going to go through, I have a report that was one of the attachments. I'm not going to go through all of the different certificates of appropriateness that we have issued since this is for July, August, September, and October. So this is a 4-month, kind of a quarterly report. But to sum it up, we gave we issued 12 certificates of appropriateness, including the first COA for a DRI project. One addendum, a couple of postpones, one was withdrawn by the property owner, and 2 for the historic record. So all of the details of any of these things can always be found in our minutes that are posted on the website. So anybody that wants to find out exactly the details of what we have approved, it's word for word in there. So these are just brief summations. Let's see. The other thing I wanted you to look at, I realized that one of the big things that we did in 2019 was we revamped the application process. And I realized that you knew we were doing it, but I didn't think that you actually had seen it. And so those were the links that were embedded in my email. So I'm not going to go over them now, but I would like to ask you to just take a look at them. We worked really hard on them. It took us months, and we really worked really hard with Team Tioga and Elaine Jardine, the director of planning, because she could see ahead that we really needed to have a better application process. It hadn't been updated in a couple of decades, I think, and it really has been working. We refined it and retooled it. We went through several different versions of it, and it's up and running. It's been working for months, and people seem to like it, and it works well for us with the approval process. So in everything that we do with our approval process and in our documents that we have, everything goes back to what the National Park Service and the State Office of Preservation does. So everything is all integrated and everything is correct. So I feel really good that we've established a template for the OHPC moving forward. So, and that was something that took a lot of work. And then I know that Elaine worked very hard with Jeff and Scott and Meg about the village building permit. As soon as she was done with us, they sat down and worked on revamping that. And that's really been helpful also. So just to remind you guys that anytime in the historic district that a project needs a building permit, they have to go through the OHPC process first. That opens the door to the permit. So Scott and I are in conversation a lot about different projects. And so what happens is we talk to people in the process so nobody's caught off guard. You know, Scott informs them, they come to us, and a lot of times sometimes if people have a contractor kind of in the garage, in the driveway or whatever, if I can get a quorum of 3 people together, we can quickly process some paperwork, you know, for them correctly. So we do our best to keep the process moving forward. And so I think that we haven't had any problems with the application process. One of the things that's one of your attachments, I gave you an example of what an actual certificate of appropriateness actually looks like that gets mailed out to with a letter to the property owner. I think the one, I just picked a random one for Joe Palladino on 121 Front Street. So that just sort of gives you an idea. There's actually a real certificate, and especially if you have a village building permit that you post, we ask people to post these next to them too. So you should start to see some of these popping up in people's windows now as they get used to this. Anybody have any questions about the new process or the new application stuff that you saw? Okay, all right. Let's see, the other thing that I wanted to talk about with this line, I think, Mr. Mayor, I think my term is up. I think we're going to have to look at that, I think. You know, I was going to ask Rod about that.
I think that's true.
And so we don't have to do that tonight. Well, it's up to you, but I think we have to pay attention to that.
Right.
Let's see.
See if I can.
I'm going to mention
Let's check it out.
okay, I'm going to mention a phrase to you all tonight that's going to come back again, and it's called, and the phrase is heritage tourism. And we are looking into, there's certain, because we are a certified local government, a CLG, there are certain grants that are set aside just for CLGs that we should take advantage of when we can. And one of the things that there are grants for is something called heritage tourism. And I'm going to be looking into this and finding out what we have to do to get some funding to maybe develop a program. Because as we progress into the 21st century, I think heritage tourism will become a more important aspect of ongoing downtown revitalization long after the money has come and gone and been spent. People will come to Owego to experience our historic district and the commercial district, and This will bolster the tax revenues and assist economic well-being. It's a way that the historic district can help support the entire village. So, so I'll be getting back to you about that. The deadline is months away, but it's something that if we decide to look into, we would have to start chipping away at that. So Laura, I'll be filling you in on that as I find out some more information. Let's see. I'd like to take this time to thank all the members of Team Tioga. Anytime there's a Main Street grant or DRI grant application, they work with us before it all comes to our meeting for approval. So any stuff that could be a problem, we iron out before the official approval meeting. So that works really well. Scott Phelps is terrific. He's a guy that really is interested in historic preservation, and so he's been very, very helpful. And Jeff has been very supportive, and I really want to give a shout out to Meg Gilbert in the office. She's extremely helpful, and she's one of those people that really makes everything work. Laura's there. Mayor Mike has been extremely available for our virtual meetings. So these are not the only virtual meetings that he has to host. And then Kim Norton at the village office has also been very helpful to us. So I just want to let you know that all these people, from time to time, I have to talk to Emma, Cedar, and Peter, and Stephen, and all these people make the system work. And I think it's like a really good example of, even though I haven't come to a meeting lately, we've been just sort of quietly in the background, the wheels have been turning. And luckily, sometimes unless you get complaints, you don't realize that any work is being done. But we are working, and the system is working, and that's it. That's my report for tonight. So thank you very much, everybody. Any questions or concerns for me?
Does anybody have anything for Nadine? I know,
Okay.
so we found the list, and you are up. It says 1-year term expires 2020. It doesn't say when.
Okay.
That's a Nate question, I guess.
No, I was the one. I remember I was the one that had the 1-year term. You know, because we all have different years. So I don't know.
The next appointment will be for 3 years.
Right.
Mayor, presumably it would run from the date of your annual appointments. So that's during your regular organizational meeting, I think.
Okay. So then I would like to appoint Nadine Bigsby as the chair for 3 years. I don't. Anybody else up? Is anybody else up? No. She's the only one.
No, I'm the only one.
Yeah. All right, so that's taken care of. And definitely thank you from myself and the board on all the work you guys are doing.
It's a good group of people. I appreciate
A lot of
it.
work.
Yeah, we got this figured out now, and we're ready for the DRI. Remember when the beginning, when I said we got to get our act together because all these DRI projects are going to be coming down? Well, we're ready. So
Yeah.
we're prepared. So that
Yeah,
was good.
they're all coming too. I know.
Yes. Yeah.
We got our contract with the Department of State, so everybody should be moving again.
Okay, thank you very much. I know you got to, I'm going to stick around too.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Nadine. Let's see, another should be easy thing on the agenda is the steamer house agreement. So we have our little committee of Laura, Rusty, and myself, and we set up a date to meet this week, or working on setting up a date to meet this week to answer, get a list of questions. And Pat's not on, but Abby's on, so I assume that's why she's really on.
I'm here.
Oh, Pat's there too. Hi, Pat and Abby. So yeah, we're gonna meet this week and hopefully get a list of questions, you guys, so we can get that hammered out.
Cool.
Mayor, do you have the Design Connect? A related note is that separate on the agenda or
Oh,
part
I
of
didn't.
the questions?
I did not know. I totally forgot about it, actually. So Abby asked me if we, with the DRI moving forward, should look into, and correct me where I'm wrong, Abby, but reapplying for the Design Connect, basically for the same thing they were going to do last year. Cornell, yeah. They said that at the end of last year that we could reapply if we weren't far, further along than they would help us with, which we're not.
Seems like they'd offer to do that to us for no extra charge for a month.
Yeah, no, they didn't charge us at all last year. There was supposed to be a $500 charge, but they didn't charge us at all. So, did I get that wrong, Abby, at all?
No, that's correct. So if
Okay.
you would like me to resubmit the application, I can do so. I just would like to have the land use committee firm up the steamer house project. So prior to resubmitting the application so that we have a firm idea of what is going to be on the property and what the boundaries are.
Okay. So the land swap is done. Well, approved anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, we're still in progress on the actual land swap.
Yeah.
I've talked to the real estate attorney's hands at this point. They're working their way through it.
So I guess the question is, do we want Abby to work on resubmitting that to the Design Connect? That's a board question.
I would motion that we go ahead and reapply to the Design Connects for the DRI project.
I would second that.
All right. So we can vote on that real quick. I don't know if we need a vote, but we can vote on it. Ron?
Yes.
Fran? She might have dropped off. Okay, I don't think Fran's, I think she got kicked off something. Charles?
Yes.
Rusty? Yes. Laura?
Yes.
And yes. All right, so we'll work on that, Abby. And obviously, we're going to meet this week about the steamer house agreement, so we'll have some sort of path forward on that too.
Okay, great. Thank you all. Have a good meeting.
You too. All right. I guess another simple one is update on Halloween. So I know last meeting we talked about getting guidance from the health department. So I reached out to Marty Sauerbray and who talked to the health department, and they researched it, whatever they did, and they released like a couple of pages of rules about trick-or-treating. Basically, at the county level, they're saying it's up to the individual people, whether you want to participate or not. Obviously, follow all the rules, social distancing, wear a mask, stay with your own party, that kind of thing. I think that's a good.
I know it's goes without saying that on Halloween, a lot of people are going to be wearing masks. I'm talking about costume masks, but it's advised to wear a mask underneath the costume mask because the costume mask doesn't have the capability of stopping or slowing down the virus.
Yeah.
So anyway, we could specify that because a lot of people, a mask is a mask. And they're going to think that a Halloween mask is going to be sufficient, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, so I guess I would just ask anybody to trick or treat in the village just to, mind the rules, I guess,
Ron, did you say something? Your lips moved, but your mic.
So the problem is that all the masks have mouth openings so kids can breathe, so the droplets could potentially go through those.
Right.
Yeah, right. So, I don't know, does anybody else have anything on Halloween? I don't know. I say, it's an individual decision whether you want to pass out candy or go trick or treating or whatever. Just look for those.
We're gonna have the fire department checking. I know the last 2 years I was a part of the checking of the candy at the
I would
station.
say if they would like to, it would be okay, per the health department rules.
The fire department will not be partaking in Halloween this year.
Okay.
Okay.
It's too risky.
And that's definitely everybody's right, So if you want to pass out candy, you can. If you don't. If you want to go trick or treating, go for it. If you don't. I don't know. Everybody kind of has that decision to make. I just hope everybody follows the guidelines if they decide to do it. So we stay safe. All right, should we do, let's see, what else we got easy? Review of insurance? Easy?
Yeah, pretty much. So everybody just got an overview of all insurance, not maybe all, but there's still some fire insurance in there. But the biggest thing that jumps out to me are the
Everybody hear, Rod?
the expenses for the flood insurance for the DPW and for the central fire station. The premium on those are like $20,000 each. So what I'd like for you guys to let me do is go back to the flood insurance people and say, hey, we'll take flood insurance, but we want the highest possible deductible at the lowest possible cost. So if we can do that, if not, then we're gonna have to pay them $40,000 for those 2 buildings.
Yeah, so one reason to do that is post 2011 flood, we moved the utilities up out of the floodplain and stuff. So there's a lower risk that if those buildings flood, they're going to cost us, or cost insurance, a ton of money to repair. But they're still costing us a ton of money to insure.
See, I think Jeff's on board with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
How about Jim Morris, his building?
We don't have a choice. Village can't afford it.
All right, okay, so I'll contact them tomorrow and this next year or two, and we'll still have coverage, but I'm gonna just raise the deductible as high as we can and try to lower the price. Okay, and once we get our new building, that DPW price goes down, it goes away, so that's $20,000.
Well, we're still going to have the garage. But yeah, it'll drop a lot.
Just keep in mind that in the 30 years I've been around, we've got water in that building once.
Yeah.
And that was 2011, and that was a perfect storm.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm not very concerned about it.
Or an unperfect storm, whatever.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Can I say something? Jimmy, you on there?
He's on there.
Yep.
Can you hear me, Chief?
Yes.
I'm just looking at the flood insurance on the 2 fire stations, and they don't cover very much contents at all. Will flood insurance cover, say those new masks we're gonna get, $200,000 worth of CBA stuff, CBA? Will they cover that kind of stuff, or they just cover buildings?
I think it's just building contents.
Because it says contents here, but I don't know what that means.
It's usually the contents, but how much?
Contents is usually furniture and appliances and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. Because yeah.
Put those upstairs.
Yeah. Jeff Rodney says put them up out of the water. Okay.
They'll be in trucks anyways, so they'll be out of water.
If it starts raining, we gotta, clean house.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. All right, thanks, Emily.
All right, yeah, go ahead and check into it.
Okay.
All right, let's see, should we do department head reports since we got everybody here? Jim, you wanna go?
Most certainly. First thing, I got a new member, Amy Hopkins, 187 Ivory Foster Road in Owego. She's joining company number 2s. I'll bring the paperwork down to Rod tomorrow.
Okay.
Move to accept Amy Hopkins and company number 2s.
I second.
We'll vote on her. Ron?
Yes.
Fran, I see you're back.
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes.
Can't forget Ron.
Oh, he voted.
Oh, did he? And
Yeah.
didn't see. Since I missed last call, September, we ran 28 calls for the month. So far for October, we're up to 12 calls for the month. I talked to Miss Marty Sauerbrei the other day. She was looking possibly at doing COVID rapid testing at Central Fire. I haven't heard anything back from her. She looked at the station, but since then, like I said, haven't heard anything, so I don't know if it's going anyplace or not.
Yeah, I've been talking to her. I didn't know how public that was. The state is up in the air about where in Tioga County they want to do it. So it's up to the state at this point where they want to open a spot up.
So we want to do it on county property, not our property.
And then the only other thing I got, I met with Jeff last week, I think it was, and his contractors. We went up and looked at the bell tower, clock tower. Took the contractor through there, took them down in the basement as well to show them the foundation part, but it's in Jeff's hands now, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for their written report to come back.
Yep.
So.
And we do have
Other
our
than that, I don't have anything.
we do have our DRI contract now, so we can, I don't want to say spend money with a little more confidence, you know, that we might get something back.
Let's hope. Hey, Jeff, I just remembered they're gonna do hose testing tomorrow over at your place.
Okay.
Little
Same
side
spot.
road there. Yep.
Okay. That's cool.
So we'll flood the streets again.
Well, we're keeping them clean.
Anything else, Jim?
I am good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Again, same note, thank you to all the volunteers and everybody that does everything they do over there. You guys are working a lot too, especially with COVID.
We appreciate it.
Let's see, who else do we got? Jeff?
I don't have anything additional, but I just want to say that Nadine and her team have made life a lot easier. We don't have any more controversies, or I don't get any more calls about OHPC, or they've been doing a really good job. And I just want everybody to know that they really have done a better job than in a long time. That's all I got.
All right, trying to think if I had anything for you. I don't think so. Everybody's been pretty quiet, which is good. Sucking up leaves?
Sucking up leaves. Yep.
Yeah.
Weather permitting.
Well, yeah, a little hard, a little wet today. Let's see, other department heads, do we have anything? We got reports from Tracy. I know I talked to him before the meeting. He said he didn't have anything else. Phase 2 is going okay. We had some issues there with some welds. They're in process of repairing those right now, so that was caught, and it's looking like it's no cost to us, so it shouldn't be. But anyway, those are getting fixed. Did you talk to Joe?
Nothing from the police department. Need something this week.
Right.
But we do have you may have seen in the paper or on the TV that we have moved along our dog program. We already had a dog program, and we've added, in case anybody needs to know this, that's watching this or doesn't need to know this, this is non-aggressive. This is a passive dog for drug sniffing, et cetera, et cetera. It's not an aggressive dog for people or crowd control.
Yeah, it's not gonna come bite you. It's a very nice dog. I met it. And actually, Pike is willing to let it meet whoever to try and get it accustomed to people. Yeah, you can give it treats and pet it. It's a very nice dog. And it'll sits down.
If you've misplaced your meth, he will come to your house and find it for you.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah, I gotta agree. It is a very nice dog.
A lot of the news agencies have picked up on the story. I know the chief told me today that a national news agency called him. I don't know what's going to come of that, but you may see us on like a big news channel, like a 5 o'clock evening news kind of thing.
I sent the dog a welcome letter from the village. They'll probably arrive tomorrow.
Perfect. So we got the dog from the Southern Tier Canine Association. They have T-shirts you can buy and stuff like that because obviously they do this at no cost. Something to check out anyway. I saw they even have a coin with Canine Mag on it, like a challenge coin. Anyway. What else? I can't think. You got anything? Department head report? Yeah. Fran, does Robin?
Yeah, just a brief report. They did, the membership did vote on the officers for the EMS, and it remains the same, no changes. They did finally get the re-chassis vehicle down to New Jersey today. It got held up because of permits from the hauler. But anyway, so hopefully within another week we'll have our loaner.
Okay.
So we'll be in a little better shape. That's all she had.
So I have a question, and maybe you can pass on to her and I can follow her too. It's more of a logistical question. As we add more ambulances, are they adding more crews to staff the ambulances? And I don't expect you to answer, Fran.
No, I really can't answer, but it's not a matter of adding more ambulances. We had 3 before. We just been down one.
Well, I'm saying as, you know what I mean, they have coverage. So I just want to make sure that we're.
Yeah, generally, yes, they do. I mean, like she told me over the weekend, they had 15 calls. So they were pretty busy.
Right.
I mean, logistically, the thing is, it seems like at any given time we have at least one ambulance that's not on the road, whether it be for, routine maintenance or.
Yeah, I'm just.
Or repairs.
Make sure that we're. I want to make sure we're staffing to the level of vehicles that we have,
With the 3rd ambulance, they can rest a little easier.
You're breaking up, Fran. It's all right. I'll email Robin about it. It's not a big deal. Anything else?
They don't have a problem with coverage for the ambulances.
All right. Anything else? I guess that's it. All right. Let's see. Do you have anything,
No.
Rob? All right. Cross that off. So we'll do.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, you were breaking up there. I think you're back now. We'll do treasurer's report. Did everybody get my synopsis, probably besides Rusty, because I didn't print one out for him. I got it here, if you want to see it.
I didn't see.
Same question, Mr. Mayor. You've looked at this and you're satisfied at the moment with this?
I have looked at this and it looks okay, so just a little summary. As a village, general fund, our target is 16.7% spent, because it's the second month of the fiscal year. Our actual is 17%, so we're 1% over. Our revenue, on the other hand, we've collected 70% of our revenue.
Oh, if you can hear me, problems.
EMS, since we kind of keep a little track of them.
Here.
EMS, since we keep track of them, they are in the positive by $10,500 the first 2 months. Our sewage fund, same deal. We target 16.7. They're 8% spent, so they're about 8% under, and they're 18% at the revenue, so they're 2% over. So anyway, everything's running pretty smooth, really.
Move to accept the treasurer's report.
I second that.
Well, I have one problem with that. The bank statement balance.
All right, on the back.
There's nothing underneath the perpetual care fund. The last, next to the last item. There's no figures there.
The one page is not in my summary. The last page.
You talking about?
The bank statement?
Yeah, that's because that's now a tidy money, right?
Yeah.
I don't think
What is it? I mean, it's blank.
it's around $340,000, 330, 340, but.
Well, I know it's in that neighborhood, but it's not, the figure's not here.
Okay.
All right, we'll get it added back for next time. I don't know why it fell off the list.
Okay.
That's a good catch. Rod said we haven't spent anything out of there, but we'll get it back on the list here.
And the motion was to approve the report with that addition.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Any other discussion on the treasurer's report? So we'll do a vote. Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
And yes. Okay. Next is the minutes of 10/5/2020. Everybody get a copy, or in their email at least?
Yeah.
I move to accept.
Minute expert Laura, have you read those and like them?
Yeah, I read them. I liked everything in them. There was one thing where it said that the policemen and the firemen were going to check the Halloween candy, and I don't think we actually agreed to that. We were going to see if we were going to be comfortable doing that. So it's in there. Probably doesn't matter. But everything else is great.
At that point, that's what they agreed on back then. That's
As of that minute, that's accurate. As of today, it's not.
That's correct.
Any motion there?
I motion to approve them as submitted.
One thing that's missing.
Second.
There's something missing in the minutes.
Okay, Fran.
We did discuss the $10,000 for the Tri-Town trees. That's not in the
Should be on the last
minutes
page.
there.
Should be on the last page.
That's on the trustee report, right?
Last page.
Page 5, bottom of the page, motion by you, Fran.
What's that?
Page 5, bottom of the page, motion by you for the $10,000 for the trees.
Yep.
Anyways, it's in there.
Is in there? Okay. I'll tell you, this connection is terrible. I hear about half of what everybody says.
It's in there.
All right. Any
Okay.
other comments on the minutes? So we'll do a vote on them, Ron,
Yes.
Fran,
You have to say
Yes.
it twice. She hears every other word.
Charles,
Yes, yes.
and Rusty,
Yes.
and Laura,
Yes.
and yes. All right, communications. I don't have much. Big thing is the dog thing. That was kind of the big news of the week, the last couple weeks. That's about it. Trustee reports. See, we'll do Ron.
I finished the court audit, and the judge had asked me to talk to Jeff about possibly looking into his windows again. After the roof had been repaired, he went around and showed me some cracked windows, bad glazing, things like that. And he said he had gotten a quote for that, and he thought you were aware of it, but he didn't know what the next step was.
On the next step, we don't get one.
And there's one guy I want on my side, it's the judge.
Any,
That's all I have.
any advice, Jeff? I know Rodney said we probably need more bids, but
Well, we did get an estimate. I can't remember what it was, to tell you the truth, but I'll look into it and I'll get back to you, Ron.
All right, yeah, he told me it was $10,000, but I mean, he was just spitballing off the top of his head. It might not be the exact amount.
Yeah, I can't remember
All right,
right
thank
off
you,
the top of my head, but I'll check it out and get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all
Anything
I've
else,
got.
Ron?
No.
All right.
So the audit's finished and we'll
Yes,
get in or whatever.
yes.
You have to send it to Dave. That's it.
Fran?
Thanks for doing that audit, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the Evergreen Cemetery Committee, they will be, Amazing Glass will start with cutting the polycarbonate to cover the stained glass windows. They had been out of the material earlier this year, but so that will be done over the next few months. They'll do, one by one. Did try to get hold of Tri-Town Trees. Jeff is waiting on him too, I guess. And Jeff is been in touch with him about the cemetery also. So hopefully that'll get going here in the next few weeks also. And one thing the committee is working on, probably in a few months, we'll bring it to the board. But we want to revise the cemetery rules. There are some parts of it that are out of date, and others need clarification. And we're reviewing this with Jeff also, to make sure that it seems right. So that's all for today.
Okay. Let's see, Charles?
I haven't personally met with Jeff, but I have gone over his list of activities, and I must say that's a lot of things to do. it always bothered me that people used to complain about the guys driving around. All they did was drive around in a truck, but it never dawned on anybody that they might be heading to the next major project, like that's listed on this list. I mean, me personally, I could relate to one of these things, doing a full burial at Evergreen Cemetery. That's not easy to do. I mean, especially when you have some people who linger after the funeral. It's not just a job. You have to maintain your composure. You're not just throwing dirt on top of a casket in the ground. You have to do it with care because there's always somebody watching, always looking at you. So there's a lot of things that go along with doing what they do, you know. And I just want to say to the community, the next time you see them driving around in the truck, instead of giving them the finger, why don't you give them a thumbs up, because it's a lot of work that they do. And saying that, oh, Jeff, I got a question for you. How long is the brush pickup going to be?
We do brush pickup all year long, so.
Oh, okay.
You know, if they put it out in the winter, it's best if they call and tell me that it's out there, because we've got a few other things we're doing in the winter. So.
Yeah. Well, I was just making sure.
But as long as they put it out, we'll pick it up.
Okay. Because I just cut down some trees out of my backyard and I got to pile them up there in the front. As Jeff made mention earlier in the beginning of the meeting, Scott has been doing his classes, and want to congratulate him on getting a 96. You said he got on his test. So now he is a full-fledged person that does what he does.
Code enforcement officer.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So congratulations to him, and I guess we get the ball rolling on different things we need done. Residents need done in the village. Other than that, that's all I got to say about that.
All right. I know I talked to Scott earlier. He called me after he found out he passed his test. And he's going to start providing us at least once a month, one of our meetings, like a little report of what he's been up to.
That's good. You can pass on my number to him so he could contact me. I haven't had his number.
I can give it to you. Don't worry. He calls me.
Thank you.
All right. You good, Charles?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Rusty?
No report.
All right. Laura?
No report.
All right. Here's a fast. All right. Let's see. The next thing is the mayor's report. I didn't do a formal report. I should have. We met with Delta about the new building with Jeff and about the fire station. That's good stuff moving forward. So they're finally going to get paid, hopefully, from Gosser. So we can send that baby out to bid pretty soon. What else did we do last couple of weeks? We got the DRI contract. We had Nate look through that. There's a lot of stuff in there we have to do. It's going to be a lot of work for the clerk's office. So we have not signed it and sent it back because we got a whole list of questions we have to answer before we sign it and send it back. But we're working on it. With the dog started, we had a ceremony for former Officer Hall. It was his anniversary of end of life duty up at the cemetery. So we did that. That was nice. Trying to think what else. That's about it, I think. Been a busy couple of weeks as usual. Always something going on. Last thing, public comment. Anybody got anything?
Mr. Mayor, I just briefed the board that the fireman's fountain has been winterized, and I'd ask either Jeff or Rodney to contact Suez to pull the meter. I think I sent an email to that effect. this morning. Overall, we had a successful fountain season, if you will, with no issues. We're having a science project with the effluents on the bricks. We're still getting some white on the bricks. And we're also having a calcium buildup issue on the cast iron, which we're experimenting with some different home remedies to take care of that. But other than that, the fountain is still in good shape. And lastly, Charlie Monroe has been down there doing lawn care work. He aerated the square where the fountain is, and he's added compost and grass seed to get a fuller grass growth around the fountain. So that's the latest on the fountain.
Nice. Yeah, it definitely looks great.
And for those who think or worry about hose company projects bringing expense to the village of Owego, that few $1,000 project of the reseeding lawn, et cetera, was taken care of by the hose team again. They're good for their word.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have them around the village.
I want to officially challenge our mayor
I knew this was coming.
to color or dye his hair pink, and anybody else on the board who would like to participate in raising awareness to breast cancer. I mean, we're all affected. We all have them. And have the community donate to a great cause. So if anybody want to jump on board, I already started. I got what hair I have here. It's there. Can you see it?
Laura has to zoom in there.
I'm pink. It wasn't the
I'm
glow
willing
from
to
the
paint
shirt.
your car pink, Charles.
Excuse me?
I'm willing to paint your car pink.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Oh, put a big ribbon on it. In a big ribbon. It's already base colored white, so it'll come out perfect.
Yeah, perfect. That's what they have to do to my hair to dye it pink, you know. Bleach it to start with.
Couple more years here, it'll be white.
This pink lasts like 6 months too, just so you all know.
Couple more years in this job, it'll be gray.
I thought it would be good to have it a different color other than gray for a month. So.
Thanks.
I was already at the bleach stage, so it worked out fine. Perfect.
Move to adjourn.
All right.
I second that.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Everybody stay safe.
You too.
No.
Good night, everyone.